What's up guys, Conrad here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the benefits of solo traveling and why I love it. So for those of you who are still on the fence about traveling by yourself and find the whole notion kind of intimidating, well, let me tell you this. Those are mainly just fears projected by your own imagination. You know, the feeling that that city's probably dangerous because it's not a place I'm comfortable with. But here's the truth, once you're there, you'll learn to adapt. You'll go about your day just as you would if you were in your hometown. I mean, the trick is just not to do anything stupid. Be socially aware, be socially intelligent, and you'll be fine. And look, a smartphone will help you out in any situation, so I'll doubt you really struggle. So, if you're just starting out with solo travel, the first thing I suggest is to not pick a place where there's an active war going on or some serious conflict. I mean, you want to get back home in one piece, right? Obviously. So, why not pick a place that's nearer to you, like a nearby town or a city that's in the same country as you're in, and spend a weekend there? You know, you want to gradually get out of your comfort zone, and then eventually you'll naturally find yourself being curious and pushing yourself a bit more to explore new places. So after that, you can consider a different country and a different city that's tourist friendly. I mean, you don't have to start out by going to the other side of the world to a third world country where you have no idea what the culture is like. You know, that might be a little bit intense, but just do whatever you're comfortable with. Now, if you're capable and resourceful in your hometown, then you'll most likely be able to handle yourself in other parts of the world. Now, as for me, I enjoy visiting European cities. I don't particularly feel like going out into the wilderness like a hardcore solo traveler and survive on berries and mushrooms and potentially poison myself. You know, I'm not that much of a survivalist, but maybe if I do get bored of doing the typical touristic stuff like sitting in the cafe, going to the museum or walking down the streets, then maybe I'll consider one day going to the middle of nowhere and, you know, setting up a tent. So here's what I love about solo traveling. It's the freedom that you get. Your time is yours. You get to decide where you want to go, when you want to go, and what you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with having a travel buddy or going out with friends to a new location. I mean, all that stuff is great, as long as you have good people around you. The only issue is that not all your friends are going to be able to come with you on the journey. Perhaps they're too busy, maybe they're not that keen on going to that particular place, or they have to check with their missus. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait for them? Are you going to wait for their schedules to go in line with yours? I mean, you could be waiting weeks, months, or maybe even years. So why wait? Why not start right now going where you want to go? So if you're worried about potentially getting lonely on your trip, then don't worry about it. Because you're going to be interacting with people regardless, in some capacity as you go about your day. Whether it be staff members, salespeople, tourists, or other solo travelers like yourself. So you can use that as an opportunity to meet new people. You can start a conversation with your hotel receptionist or your Airbnb host and just ask for suggestions. Where do you think I should go? Or where do you personally like to go yourself? And then from there, you can start a dialogue. And maybe they'll give you their own personal story. So it is good to keep up the social aspect of your travels. Let's say if you're a confident enough guy, you can meet the local girls. And if you're a confident enough girl, you can meet the local guys. But of course, I'd suggest you be careful. You got to see for yourself people of different cultures, different philosophies, different ways of life. And then maybe you can learn a thing or two from them. Personally, I do believe that solo traveling does help you to become more independent. You'll grow up quicker. You'll be able to plan more efficiently and conduct yourself accordingly. You'll learn what's important and what's not. What things you really need to bring with you. but also how to handle problems that might come your way. Now, there's always going to be some small problems. Maybe you lose something or things don't go according to plan. Well, you'll be better prepared for those situations for the next time you travel. You see, time is now, and life is short, so why not travel as much as you can? You see, I know there'll be people who say things like, well, you can just watch YouTube and that'll be good enough. Just watch 4K walking videos of the streets. And yeah, I guess that's a good substitute. Actually, not really. That's like virtual reality. It's not the same as actually being there and experiencing the culture, absorbing the atmosphere, and getting a feel for the vibe of the city. It's just not the same thing. You just can't get that from a screen. You have to be there. Now, I do think that travel videos on YouTube are a great resource if you want to get to know the place before you visit. But of course, it's nowhere near like being immersed in that environment and being able to interact with it. Now, I don't know if I can be a traditional travel vlogger unless it was my career. You see, I don't particularly like walking down the streets and just, talking to the camera and saying something that's of no substance or no value. I could be just like, wow, I'm walking down the street. Isn't the weather nice? Aren't the buildings lovely? I mean, yeah, that's obvious, but it needs to be something educational. So, and also, if I'm always having to think of things to say to the camera, it kind of takes away from my own personal experience. When I'm there, I have a limited time in that country, so I want to make the most out of it. So guys, don't be afraid of solo traveling. You only have one life, so why not see what else is out there? There are still so many mysteries that your senses have not yet encountered. Now, I know the world seems small, especially with the internet. Everything is so interconnected, right? But it's not until you get on a plane and you go above the clouds and you allow yourself to get lost in a new environment, that's when you realize how big the world actually is. The more you travel, the more interesting you become. You become more international, and you definitely won't regret it.